Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks show, powered by ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at ComEd.com/clean. Well, that was fun for 56 minutes.
Yeah.
The Hawks lose 2-1 to the league-leading NHL's best Winnipeg Jets in Winnipeg. They had a 1-0 lead from the 4:19 mark of the second period until the 16:31 mark of the third, and then Velarde and Ehlers score, and the Jets fly away. See what I did there?
Just
with
like
a
that.
2-1 win.
Just like that. It sucks. If this season mattered, it would sting a lot more. But, you know, you get to that point in the third period. You got the 1-0 lead. You're just trying to hang on. You know the Jets are throwing everything that they have at the Blackhawks, at Petr Mrazek. And Mrazek, fantastic game tonight.
Mrazek, who was the first star of the game, by the way, so stop yelling at us in the chat that he's not a 4-star candidate.
Yeah, he was the first star of the game, deservedly so. He was the only reason that the Blackhawks had a chance to win tonight late in the game. And then, you give up the game-tying goal, try and regroup. 1 minute left, 2-1 game, done. It's a real kick in the dick, as we like to say on the show.
Right in the
but
Budweiser
it's
stand.
still what we asked for in the pregame was, continue the way that you had been playing the last couple of games, where you get that effort, you hang in a game. They did that tonight. As a totality of this game, they did that. They played with the Jets. They played up to their pace. They hung with them. They had a lead for a majority of the game.
They went 12 minutes into the second period without allowing a shot on goal to the league-leading Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, they were doing a really great job of suppressing shots and offense for the Jets through 2/3 of the game. Given where this roster is right now, back-to-back 2-1 losses against the Oilers and the Jets, I don't know what you can be mad about.
I have one thing I'm mad about, and I'm going to tell you about it in a second.
Well, there are things you can be mad about, of course.
But there's one specific thing from this game that pissed me off, and we'll get to it here in a second. But make sure you smash that like button for us on YouTube. Please get in the habit of doing that. And make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well, so when we go live, you are notified. Same deal on your favorite podcast app. Follow, subscribe, whatever they call for there. And take 30 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That goes a really, really long way. So please, please, please do that. We're going to keep our eye on the old email there and see if the Hawks send in Luke Richardson postgame. No promises, but if we get it, we'll turn it around as fast as we can. But here's what pissed me off in this game. Sure, the game, you just gave up the lead. You're down. You're feeling bad. You have the puck in the Jet zone. 5, 4, 3, pass, 2, pass, 1, pass, no shot.
Yeah.
Freaking talk to each other. Someone has to shout, 5, 5. You hear it all the time when you watch other teams play. 10 seconds. You got to be aware of what the freaking clock is. You had your top offensive players for this team on the ice at the time with opportunities to shoot, and they passed and passed and passed.
Yeah.
Luke Richardson has been screaming this from the beginning of the season. They have to talk on the ice. And we were talking about this the other night about how the personalities of these players are shy, reserved, soft-spoken, whatever you want to call it. That shit has to go out the window on the ice. You have a job to do, and part of the job is communicating with your teammates how much time is left, who you're covering, and who they should cover. It has been a persistent issue all year long.
Yeah.
Get over it. We're halfway through the season now. Get over your shyness. You're all buddies. You've all seen each other's dogs. Let's go. Let's communicate with each other and say how much time is left.
Yeah, you're right.
Am I wrong?
I
There's
don't
nothing
know.
to be shy about anymore.
I don't know about the one part of that, but most of that, yeah, I would.
We are halfway
definitely
through the season. That is
agree.
correct.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes, halfway through this. This was game 42. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a situation where you have to be aware of the clock. You have to know that you don't have time to set up the pretty pass. Like, it's just got to be you have a 6-on-5 at the end of the game, right? 3 guys, go park your ass in front of the goalie, and 3 of you, 2 at the circle, 1 at the top of the blue line, fire away.
Yeah.
Fire away and look for something to happen. You can't just be pass. You're going to pass yourself to out of an opportunity, which they did. It's just got to be straightforward.
It's how the Jets came back in this game. 12 shots in the third period.
It's been that way all season. This is a passive hockey team.
Well, with the
there's nobody out. There's very few guys on this team that says, "Screw it, I'm going to do it."
right, yeah. But with the roster turnover that they've experienced, I would say in the last few games there's been at least a little bit more of that straightforwardness.
A little bit more, but then at the end,
they are who they are.
You get these guys and they want a cross ice one timer. Just shoot.
Yeah.
And we've said it so many times this year. Most of your goals in the NHL are scored from with 10 feet or closer to the net, and all they're doing with 10 seconds to go is hanging out in the perimeter.
Hate that.
Nobody going to the net.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You can't. There's not a lot you can really complain about, because if you would have said, "Hey, before the game, Blackhawks are only going to lose to the Jets 2-1. They're going to play hard for most of the night,"
You'd be happy.
you'd be like, "Cool."
You have a lead at some point.
If the Jets would have scored those 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the game as opposed to the last 3 minutes of the game, we'd be, man, that was such a great effort.
Yeah.
Just came up a little short.
Yeah.
The Jets, it was coming. You felt it the whole second half. The Jets were like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, they were.
They about the 11-minute mark of the third period, someone brought up the iPad and was like, "Okay, NHL standings. Jets, scroll down. Blackhawks. Hey guys, we're better than them.
They pull
Let's
up our
just
line.
go out and win it."
They pull up our line graphic. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
This can't be right.
Yeah, so you can't. They didn't have the puck for the last 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
It's hard to win games when you don't have the puck. But for the most part, this was another solid effort against a team that was far superior talent-wise. I mean, yeah, Mark Scheifele was out for most of that game. He got hurt and didn't come back. But still, you still got a lot of talent out there. Future Hall of Famer Murray Barron, who just seems to, kill the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen this kid's name pop up anywhere else. Not that I watch a ton of Jets games, but it just seems the Blackhawks come to town, and all of a sudden he's, Cam Neely all of a sudden. So,
Gets that power boost.
yeah. But, it was Petr Mrazek, man. He's saying, "Hey,
That's
I
who you
want to
feel
go to
bad for.
Toronto as an all-star. Damn it. Send me."
That's what you feel probably the worst about tonight is the fact that Mrazek doesn't get rewarded for the effort.
And we both kind of sat there at the game-winning goal. We were kind of like, he probably should have made that save, but you're not going to scream at him because he made so many saves that he had no business.
And that's also
making
Nikolaj
early in the game.
Ehlers getting a pretty open look at you. It's a pretty good goal
When you
scorer.
got time and space to pick a corner.
Yeah.
Guys like that are usually going to
do it.
Speaking of Nikolaj Ehlers, he was the third star of the game with the goal, 5 shots, 12 shot attempts. That's Bedardian.
He's on my fantasy team.
Number 2 star of the game, Laurent Brossoit, one of my favorite names in hockey. He stopped 20 of 21 Hawk shots, and like we said, the number 1 star was Petr Mrazek, stopping 26 of 28 Jet shots. I think it was Alec who asked, is it weird for the losing goalie to be the number 1 star? The way it works, at least the way it used to work when I was producing the radio games, is the 3 stars are chosen before the game ends.
Yeah, that was obviously voted probably 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
But used to have the
But usually say whoever has the game, if it's a tie game, they'll save number 1 star for whoever has the game winner.
Usually, yeah.
Right.
But also, that was an effort where you'd say he was pretty much had the biggest impact out of anybody in that game. Because if he doesn't have the game that he has, this game It's not even close.
Right. So here's our nominees for the chat's fourth star. Connor Murphy, 1959 of ice time, a goal on one shot. That's 100% shooting. 3 shot attempts, 4 block shots, and 2 hits. Another night at the office for Murphy. Colin Blackwell, 1353 of ice time, 4 shots, 6 shot attempts. And Lucas Reichel picks up a primary assist, 1531 of ice time. He only had 1 shot attempt, blocked a shot. But, primary assist, cool. It's little baby steps for Lucas Reichel at this point here.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the game score and our friends the Blue Lions, he was top 3, and with just 1 shot attempt. The positive you can say is that it's an example of how he has been able to be effective at times without having to generate as much offense as we all hope and expect him to, which is a good thing. But we also want that offense to come and be a part of his game regularly. Yeah. We don't want it to be, he's great off the puck. It's like, okay, a lot of guys are great off the puck. Be great with the puck.
Right.
Like that is what we're all striving for and hoping for Lucas Reichel, because it is clear, like the things around the game that are, maybe his secondary skills, those have been good. That's why he's
really
that's
nice
why he's in the
defensive play
NHL
in the
without
second
having
period.
any production.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's the things that's going to put him over the top that it's just not clicking consistently for him. So he gets the assist. Hopefully that's, a little confidence boost, get a little tick in the A column and move forward and try and build off it.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, because, they've got a lot of offensive forward prospects, but this is a guy who, based on what we saw from him last year, we were sort of penciling him in as, okay, this is a guy we know is going to be good. Yeah. And this year he has not been good. And look, it's half of one season, not even still to 82 career games yet, so way too early to make a call, but the production needs to come. And you're right, like the periphery stuff, the defense, the being in the right place at the right time, stuff has been working, but when he tries to add the skill elements, they're just off. Yeah. Like he'll make a really nice between the legs pass or a no-look pass, but he'll just miss the stick. And part of that has to do with the skill of his teammates too, and their ability to complete those plays. But at the end of the day, Bedard's able to do it, and Kurashev's able to do it, and Dickens
Colin
is able to do it.
Blackwell is able to do it.
Yeah, so you can't make every excuse for Reichel.
Yeah.
There's some that are valid, but he needs to put puck in net or help people put puck in net.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is his time.
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks without Connor Bedard. You can argue that he is the best offensively talented, gifted player on this team.
Yeah. I guess
on paper or on scouting reports, whatever. I mean, you see the flashes of it. This is his time. He's got 6 to 8 weeks without Connor Bedard to be the number one option. He should be the number one scoring option without Connor Bedard on the roster right now. Right now, you've got nobody is the number one scoring option. I mean, if Colin Blackwell is Jason Dickinson, it's been really good, but as we pointed out the other day, he's shooting 22%. I mean, at some point, he's going to regress to the back of the hockey card. This is when Reichel should be the guy. He should be the number one option. He should want to be the number one option.
Yeah.
He should be on the ice, slamming his stick out. Give me the damn puck. I want to shoot. And then another game with 1 shot attempt. I mean, yeah, he had the assist, which is good. Maybe that's something that he sees that, and it's a mental thing. Like, okay, I got a point. All right, build off of that. But we need to see something. If we get through this, if Bedard comes back and Reichel still has like 15 points on the season, I don't know. He's got to be the go-to guy here for these next 12, 15, how many games?
You'd think, too, that he would be really enthused about the opportunity. He was second on the team in ice time on the power play. That's the thing is, like, we do these shows, we sit down, the game ends, we discuss, okay, who are our third stars going to be? We go through, we look at the performances, talk about the eye test and all those things. Like, hey, Reichel looked decent this game, and we look at the line, and it's one shot attempt, one shot, two shot attempts.
Yeah,
like
it's easy to
there's
find
just
Reichel's line because there's usually no numbers across the board.
There's
Right,
just nothing. And it'd be one thing if he was just. And look, he is. I will say, in fairness to him, he is shooting like below 5%. His shooting percentage is unsustainably low.
Sure.
But at the same time,
he's not shooting enough.
he's not shooting enough. And the score sheet is indicating that. It is a big swath of zeros. Even on nights where we said, like, hey, maybe we give him a star tonight, we look at the sheet and say we can't. And honestly, like, that was kind of the case today.
Yeah.
But we're like, well, he had a primary assist, so I guess, and he had a decently large blue line. This is all teammates all saw. Like,
Right.
it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. We gave it to him kind of as a knowing he wasn't going to win the 4-star of the game. And I'm sure, Steven, he is not, correct?
He is not winning, but it's extremely close.
With the other
Yeah.
two, I assume.
Yeah, and
Reichel has 22% of the vote.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
that's
He's in it.
surprising.
yeah, and I think, what we saw with earlier this year with Kurashev, a number of times there were times where he was out there and like you said, Greg, like he was like visibly demanding the puck in different opportunities, and I think that's what you want to see from Reichel, where he has the like drive that even the casual observer can say, oh, this person they're trying to be the go-to guy. I just don't know if that's part of his like hockey like makeup, like I don't want to say that he doesn't have the desire to be the guy, but it's definitely, it manifests itself differently for him. Like Blackwell's out there, he's getting in the face of Josh Morrissey, he's zipping up and down the ice, finishing checks, like playing a style of hockey that Luke Richardson loves and preaches and is obviously effective. We all see it. But with Reichel, it's like a lot of like subtleness to his game, where he can have an effective game and analytically, but have one shot attempt.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to come for him in a different way. I don't think he's going to be the guy to go out there and sit at, be open on the wing, slamming his stick, saying, give me the puck, I'm going to deke everybody, drive to the net and score. I don't think that's his game. It's going to have to happen differently. And I think he just has a different makeup as a hockey player to where he's quietly confident in himself. Like you don't see him, hanging his head, slamming sticks, anything like that. You also don't see him, getting too high in different moments. So I think the actual like the visibility of like things are coming for him it has to be on the score sheet. That's what we're all going to be able to see where it's actually making that progress. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes, is that you don't see that like fireness in his game or from him, but he's still being somewhat effective. So it's like, I don't know what more kick in the pants he can get or what more opportunity he can get to like bring that out of him. I think it's just either going to be there or it's not.
So just as you were talking there, just for funsies, because in my mind, he had a little more swagger last year to his game, I thought. He kind of, and maybe he was saying,
he was
like,
scoring goals and,
yeah.
So
I just pulled up a random game from the end of last season, April 4th. The Hawks beat the Flames 4-3. Who could forget such a memorable game?
Sure.
Lucas Reichel ended the game with 2 assists, +1, 13:41 of ice time, 0 shot attempts, and 1 hit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just even a game he ends with 2 assists. I just pulled this one randomly. I didn't know if the Hawks had played on that day. But I was going to see, like, did his games last year look a little bit different? No, not really. I just feel like maybe part of it was last year he still kind of had that chip on his shoulder of, I deserve to be here.
Sure.
I have deserved to be here all year, and I'm not. I'm going to show you I'm not going back. And maybe he's gotten a little comfortable this year. And I think Luke has done everything he can do to make him uncomfortable. You're on the bottom 6. You're healthy scratched. Mm-hmm. Now he doesn't have that luxury.
Right,
he has to play.
Yeah.
He has to play. But I don't know, maybe when the team gets healthy, they do consider a trip to Rockford. I just think it's hard to do that, though, because, and Alan K has a $5 super chat asking us if you had to pick one thing Reichel has improved on this season, what is it? I think it's everything but his scoring.
Defensive
So
game.
it's hard to look at a guy who has improved in every category, aside from putting the puck in the net and saying you're going to Rockford because you can't put the puck in the net. It's
yeah,
tough.
but that could be what he needs is maybe he just needs to take that game to the AHL, dominate, score a couple goals, come back up here and realize, hey, I haven't lost it. I can still do it.
For the
I just have
record,
to do it here now.
I'm totally down with that. For the record, once they're healthy,
Yeah, once everyone comes back.
Fine.
The thing is, like, yeah. You're running. Luke Richardson is running out of cards to play with Reichel.
Yeah.
And right now, it's just you're in the lineup because you have to be.
All right, this season in 41 games, Lucas Reichel has 58 shots on goal.
It's not even 2 a game.
where's that on a team, I wonder?
Like middle of the pack. Cole Gutman has 39 shots on goal in 18 less games. But last season, in 23 NHL games, Lucas Reichel had 42 shots on goal.
Oh,
It's almost 2 a game.
yeah.
Yeah. So
he's shooting
he's got
less per
only
game.
in 18 more games than he played all of last year. He only has 16 more shots.
Yeah, he's shooting less per game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe you can chalk that up to,
Well,
playing Connor Bedard is sucking up more shots throughout this season than at the end of last season's team. Guys that had those abilities, but
Yeah, but
not that much.
But if that was the case too, you would see a surge in these last few, and it hasn't been there. All right, here's an idea.
He had 2 games last season of 5 shots on goal, 3 games of 3 shots on goal, and he only had 3 games all last season with no shots on goal.
Okay.
So
Out of
he's-
what, 23 did he play last year?
23.
Yeah.
So he had almost 20% of his games last year. He had at least 3 shots on goal.
Here's an idea. The Blackhawks are on All-Star break the last week of January and early February.
Mm-hmm.
Rockford plays the 27th, the 30th, the 2nd, and the 3rd. How about a 4-game stint to rebuild your confidence in Rockford during the All-Star break?
If
Is
there's
is that seen as a punishment?
I think maybe a week away from nothing hockey-wise could be
He's
better.
gonna have to cancel an Airbnb. That's always a pain. That's always a pain in the ass.
He's European. It'd be a hostel.
Oh, God. We got our first Derek King ruined Lucas Reichel in the chat.
Sure,
Oh my
he
God.
sure did.
He did fine
he
with
did.
Derek King when he was his head coach in Rockford.
Yeah, he was fine there, and
Yeah,
King getting blamed for my God.
I think that's not a bad idea, but also that's also not a bad idea to just
kid.
let him have his break.
Go somewhere warm.
go take your
for a
mind
few
off
days.
hockey. Yeah, head down to
The pucks will be here when you get
Cabo
back.
or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever you do. Yeah,
we'll keep your equipment clean and ready for you.
because he is one of only outside of the healthy scratch game, he's played every game. He's only missed 1 game this year.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
So that was because of the healthy scratch.
Right.
It wasn't an injury. So he's been one of only 3 healthy guys all season. The other 2 being Connor Murphy, surprise, surprise, and Jason Dickinson are the only 2 guys who play in all 42 games so far. So, yeah. Again, oh my God. The next person says Derek King is the problem, needs to get banned from the entire internet.
What are we talking about?
I swear to Christ, you people just
Weird. It's the weirdest thing.
If-
There just has to be
You know what Derek
somebody
King's
to blame.
job is? He runs practice. That's his job.
There
And he
has to
scored
be
40
somebody.
goals in the AHL twice. He knows a lot more. Like, he goes out there and shoots pucks with the guys at the end of practice, and he still has, like, the 3rd best shot on this team. Come on. Give me a break. I know some of you are kidding, but some of you are not. And you people need medication.
By the way, before we
Yes.
break, I want to acknowledge Spirit of 76 gave the reason he doesn't like Kyle Davidson, and I've been seeing this floating around a lot, so I want to address it. There it is, right there.
Speaking of dumb
Reason I
takes,
don't like Davidson, you don't have to rip it down this far. Tampa didn't, Boston didn't, Pittsburgh didn't, the Rangers didn't, and they're still competitive since the Hawks Cup days. For first of all, the Rangers were horrible.
Rangers had the second overall and first overall pick in back-to-back years. You don't get that by being good.
Yes. Here's the reason that those other teams have not had to do this. Because their GMs didn't pay all their players the maximum possible amount of money. Nikita Kucherov today makes less money than Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane signed 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Braden Point, same. Steven Stamkos, $8.5 million. All these guys making less than Toews and Kane signed for 10 years ago. Victor Hedman, 7.8. I can go on. You want me to go to the Penguins? I can do that for you too.
Sidney Crosby has never made as much as Toews and Kane did.
No. Sidney Crosby makes 8.7. Evgeny Malkin makes 6.1.
Well, that's a new contract.
Yes, that's a new contract.
But
still, like the reason everyone was so frustrated with Bowman, I said it, I'll throw a quarter in a jar, whatever, is the fact that everybody got paid every last dollar and everyone had a no movement clause. So you effed yourself.
And they actually drafted and developed some young players along the way, too. Something he who shall not be named rarely ever did.
And if you pay Toews, Kane, Hossa, whoever, go through the list, $1 million less each, like all these guys I'm mentioning did, you get to keep Teuvo Teravainen. You don't have to trade Teuvo to get rid of Brian Bickle.
Yes.
It also,
and on and on.
It also helps when Brent Seabrook hips don't say, you can't play hockey anymore.
Right.
It also helps when Jonathan Toews' body doesn't say, you can't play hockey anymore. It also helps when Marian Hossa's body says, you can't wear hockey equipment anymore. Like,
yeah.
It's also different, you know.
Yeah.
It's Crosby, Malkin, Letang. As much as we were like, oh yeah, get the Geritol ready, they're all still playing at a high level, and that's why Pittsburgh has had a longer.
Probably going to win the Hart Trophy this year.
Yeah, he's what, 37?
He's carrying that team.
So it's different.
Yeah, it's and again,
Patrice Bergeron, play through so many different injuries for a very long time, and Zdeno Chara was a freak of nature physically. Longevity of players makes a difference.
Yes, he was
in those teams'
the
cases.
Previous regime was very bad at salary cap management and left the cupboard bare.
Yes.
So I don't know. And again, we said it all last season and before that. All the people were like, I don't think we should have done a rebuild. What's your alternative that gets you to a Stanley Cup?
Look how effing bad Colorado was. They were historically horrible. All of a sudden, you hit on some draft picks, and Lottie freaking da, they're a juggernaut.
And 5 years from now, we may all be saying, yeah, the rebuild was a failure. It didn't work.
Well,
but we can't sit here and punch the podium and saying, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
The plan is sound. Whether or not it works and results in Stanley Cup, we don't know, but the plan is sound. The counter argument to what Davidson's doing, by the way, I'm writing about it for Blackhawks Beat tomorrow partially, is the Buffalo Sabres, who they got their high picks, they got their franchise defensemen, 2 of them. They traded for a near 50-goal scorer in Tage Thompson. Alex Tuck is a guy they acquired who's become a really good player, and they were the darlings of the preseason, and they are the 4th worst team in the Eastern Conference right now. So it doesn't always work, but it doesn't mean the plan wasn't sound.
Yeah, you're also your alternatives are B Ottawa or B Detroit
or Nashville
or Nashville.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what having it does.
And give it some time. Give it some time because, if it's 2026 and the Blackhawks are still bottom feeders and it's only Connor Bedard out there, I'll be the first one out there saying, God, Kyle Davidson's been bad at his job.
Right.
But it's way too early in this. And again, what are your other alternatives that get you close to a Stanley Cup?
And that's why Davidson is going about it the way that he is partially because he believes that that's the right way to go and that's the right, plan to have. Blueprint for building a team is from the bottom up. And you have to bottom out to go bottom up. But also it's accountability because it's going to eventually be very likely all his guys, all his trades, all his free agency signings, all his draft picks. And if it doesn't work, it's on him. And there's no finger pointing to, you know, we relied on the old guys' picks and the old guys' players, and it didn't work. So why is it my fault? These guys are here, not by my doing.
Even
he
when
made it all. It's going to be all Kyle Davidson's fingerprint,
which is different from the last guy too, because even when they were winning all those cups, a lot
Those
of people
were other
said,
GMs.
"Hey, that's Dale Talon." Was that Pet Foley to this day at his last night was still saying Dale Talon is the architect of this. Maybe a little bit,
He
sure.
also forgets Mike Smith.
Mike Smith
too.
drafted some pretty important people.
Keith.
Duncan Keith, Corey Crawford,
Crawford, right?
Dustin Bufflin. Those were all Mike Smith picks. So
Yes, they were.
you're right. That's a heck of a point about Kyle Davidson says, like, hey, I'm gonna win with my guys.
If it fails, it's
or
all on him.
I'm putting my career on my guys.
Paul said KD has also been incredibly lucky. They shouldn't have gotten Bedard based on a tank they did. I'm all for the rebuild, but stop acting like he's
Why
some damn
shouldn't they
genius.
have?
No one said. When have we ever said he's a genius? I said the plan is sound. That's what I said.
Yeah.
The word genius and Kyle Davidson has never been uttered on the 300 whatever episodes we've done of this show.
I don't think so.
You're making shit up for your confirmation bias. No one has called him a genius. The plan to rebuild is the only plan they had, and he is being patient with it.
Yeah.
And I have admitted, if it was me, I would not have been patient. I'm like, Connor Bedard, fuck yeah, let's sign some free agents. I would have butchered this thing. He is steadfast, he's holding strong, and he's building this team the way he believes is going to win. And like you said, Mario, if it doesn't work, he's fired. It's that simple.
And the reason that we're trusting in the plan is because to this point, the checkpoints of the plan have all gone to pretty much what they were hoping for. You get as much value as you can out of the players that were here when he took over that weren't going to be part of the future. You know, Marc-Andre Fleury, Patrick Kane, got rid of Brandon Hagel. That was a tough one, but hey, you got Oliver Moore. Radish and Tkachuk have been up and down. We don't really know what we believe with them, but we have another first-round pick this year. You get shrewd at the draft in summer of 22. You end up bringing in Frank Nazar, Kevin Korchinski, Sam Renzel. You got Petr Mrazek, who's playing well this season. Sure, you got rid of DeBrincat and Doc, but it brought back some future value. Again, it's him putting his fingerprints on all of it, and so far, things have worked out in which you say, okay, I'm on board for the rebuild. I've hopped on the ride. We tanked out last year, and it was a roll of the dice to tank because the lottery is not guaranteed. And they move from 3-1. They get Connor Bedard. Like, hey, all right, like that's a bonus. If it wasn't Bedard, it was going to be Carlson or Fantilli, which is still great. Which is still great. And you're in a position this year where you're going to be in the lottery again. You're going to be in a position where you're drafting no lower than 5. You know, you may win it again. Who knows? But you're in a position where you're getting those future pieces. And that is important because when he took over, what was it? 23rd prospect system in the league, according to The Athletic. By that same time, the next year, number 5. And started this season at what, number 3 it was? Something like that. Like, that's the future that you're kind of laying your eggs in that basket with Davidson.
And again, we know nothing's guaranteed.
Right.
But the cleanest way out is to do it the way they're doing, because instead of picking 7, 8, 9, they're picking 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a massive difference between 1 and 5 and 1 and 7 or 2 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge difference in those players.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know. I don't know why this is hard to understand.
Rebuilds don't give you instant gratification.
All right. And you don't, just in general, you don't have to find something to be pissed about. Again, if it doesn't work out, there will be consequences.
People got to be mad at everything, man.
I guess so.
People need to be mad.
And that's the reason why Luke Richardson is on the hot seat, according to some people.
Oh, my God. Please. By the way,
Anyways.
Did he spill his
speaking of
coffee?
Luke, we're going to hear from him
He might
next.
have,
But first, Mario's going to tell you about our friends at Midtown.
Yeah, Midtown Athletic Club. They're a great place to go if you are looking to get yourself right physically and mentally. You got to pump some iron to get your frustrations out. Midtown Athletic Club can do that for you. They have 4 Chicagoland locations in Palatine, Bannockburn, Willowbrook, and right here in the city, the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel. And Midtown, for the month of January, is offering no initiation fees at their Bannockburn, Palatine, and Willowbrook locations.
I can afford that.
That's pretty good.
No fees?
Yeah, no initiation
Right in
fees.
my price range.
Then you
That's a
got to
good
work
thing.
out.
My favorite fee is
Chicken sandwich.
my favorite fee is not a fee. So, yeah, that works out. So if you're an individual or a family with kids or looking to make some lifestyle changes, check out the Midtown Athletic Club. They have so much to offer. Super luxurious locker rooms, wet and dry saunas, indoor and outdoor pools and hot tubs, state-of-the-art workout equipment. They have a restaurant, as you were saying. They full-on restaurant.
World famous chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
there.
chicken sandwich is pretty good. Yoga, boxing, group exercise studios, spin classes, you name it, they got it. And if you're into tennis, the Midtown Athletic Club is the place to be. They have the best programming in the sport. They have indoor and outdoor tennis courts, pickleball, and paddle. Tennis is available as well, all USTA professional quality. So head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more and tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest to you.
Yeah. And if you're looking to upgrade your home, just like you're looking to upgrade your body and your mind at Midtown, hit up our friends at Empire today, where you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire today is the best place to get new flooring. So there can have people trying to be like them, or at least, imposters. But Empire cannot be beaten on quality, service, or speed. So competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire will not carry, and they refuse
Oh, jeez.
to put in your home. They refuse to do it. They won't.
Refuse.
Their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not to overwhelm you with thousands of choices and crappy substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples every year to find the perfect styles. And if you think you're talking Empire today, you got 5 or 6 designs you really, really like and you can't decide, well, that's when you fire up the virtual floor designer, see exactly what the floor is going to look like in your space. It's a great way to make the right choice because, let's be honest, it is a big investment to get new floors. You want to know exactly what you're getting, and Empire today will help you do that with that virtual floor designer. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
I'm just laughing at the Tanvers 12, our Derek King fan. It says, imagine this. It's 2028. Bedard is handed the Stanley Cup from Gary Batman at Centre Ice at the UC. The first person he hands it to is Derek King, and the crowd goes wild.
There you go.
You did clarify that he was kidding earlier.
I know.
way.
It's
Yeah.
just, it makes me
If
giggle.
Gary Bettman's still the commissioner in 2028, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, why don't we hear from Luke Richardson? Thanks to the Hawks for sending this. They must have been watching the show, as they always do. Here is Luke Richardson after the Hawks' 2-1 loss in Winnipeg. Meantime, push the like button for us.
They skated hard, but I thought we just backed off a little bit in the last 5 minutes, and the other team was desperate and came at us and got 2 good chances. That we got to try and prevent that. It was definitely disappointing, not even getting into overtime for a point on the road.
What's the mood in the locker room like?
I didn't even go in. I know it's disappointed. You could see them coming off the bench after the game. We only had a minute to try and scramble to tie it up, but we didn't really even get in to get that opportunity. So it's unfortunate. I just thought, they wanted it a little bit more than us at the end of the game, and we just couldn't contain them and hold them.
Was there any kind of breakdown in particular on the Ehlers goal, the go-ahead goal?
Just not protecting the middle ice. I think him coming through the middle of the ice with a lot of speed. we were trying to play tight on the back end. I thought maybe the forwards were a little bit spread out. We got to be over top of them in the middle and push everything to the outside. So it's a more difficult task for them. And coming down the middle for Ehlers, one of the faster guys in the league, is probably what they wanted. And unfortunately, we opened that up for them.
Kind of along that same vein, did Winnipeg do anything differently in the final few minutes?
I think they just played a little bit harder and desperate. I think their Ds were really pinching down the walls, and we just weren't clean. I thought we were cleaner in the middle part of the game. Broke out the puck out and had some more line rushes for, created more chances for. So I think just subconsciously you back off and try and protect the 1-0 lead, and then preserve and try and get to overtime when they tie at 1-1, and they just kept coming. So unfortunately, they got the good breaks at the end that they created for themselves, and we came away with nothing again, and that's frustrating. The last 2 games we played very well and come out with no points.
I'm sure you're happy with your goaltender tonight?
Oh, he was great. He deserves way better from us in front of him at the end of the game to try and help him get a win, if not a shutout. So he's been great for us all year. So we got to try and get him a little more goal support, and definitely protect him a little better at the end of games.
What were the bright spots that you saw?
It's hard to think of right this second, but I think the penalty killing was excellent. Guys were blocking shots and playing hard, and that's what we've been asking them to do. And I thought we frustrated them quite a bit throughout the game. Unfortunately, we just gave them too much room at the end.
That is Luke Richardson after the Hawk. I'm surprised he was, a little bit more critical than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough there to break down of the breakdown. I mean, it wasn't a perfect effort that was spoiled by a brain fart in the last minute of the game. There was enough there that they didn't do right to give that game away.
Yeah, and I am definitely looking forward to Seth Jones returning in the lineup, hopefully within the next couple of games.
Yeah, you think so?
For a couple of reasons. First of all, then we no longer have to watch Jared Tenorti watch pucks go into the net.
Well, less often.
Bro.
Because, that first Winnipeg goal, what are you doing, man?
Back door. Again.
Just standing in the middle of the ice, and then goes, oh, shit, there's a guy there.
Are they allowed to do that?
And another reason I want to see him is for that power play. Because Kevin Korchinski at the blue line, keeping pucks in, woof!
He's got to learn.
It's tough.
I think Korchinski will eventually be a power play quarterback, but it just he passes the puck and then he kind of just stays flat-footed, and then the puck comes back to the blue line and he's like, oh, I better go get it, and he never keeps it in. Where Jones, and I know this is because he's a veteran, he's been doing it longer, he kind of flows with it, and he seems that he can guess where it's going to wind up. Those are two things that are going to be improved. And then you could put Korchinski back on the second unit and let him pass it backwards down there.
Yeah, I mean, look, that comes with time and experience. As he will learn and the game will come to him. And we say this all the time, but when young players are always asked what is different between the Western Hockey League or the American Hockey League or college hockey and the NHL, they always say the speed. And they're not only talking about how fast guys skate, they're talking about how quickly you need to process the game.
Yeah.
And any young player, regardless of, we're seeing it from Connor Bedard, a generational prospect that comes around once every 10 years, whatever you want to say, he has had to make adjustments and say, okay, this doesn't work here. It's going to happen with Korchinski. It's going to happen with Vlasic. Everyone's going to come. And the reason that Seth Jones is so good at keeping the puck on the power play is he's got that ability to see a puck coming around the dasher behind the goal and say, all right, based on where these guys are, this puck's going to come here.
He's seen it enough.
And he has seen it so many times that he knows where to go. And it's beyond instinct. It's just knowledge. It's wisdom that comes with playing game after game after game and huge minutes year after year after year, as he's done since Nashville drafted him. Mm-hmm. He's been a big minute guy since he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's got, he's got the battle scars and the wisdom and knowledge now to see what's going to happen before it happens. And Korchinski will get there.
Yeah. I found myself getting frustrated with Korchinski tonight and then having to remind myself, he's 19. He's not a prepackaged NHL player just yet. He's going to take some time. He would love to see him be in Rockford right now, but he can't do that. So he's got to learn these lessons here, and it hurts because he's not learning it in a sheltered role. He's not on a team that has four NHL defensemen that you can say, oh, they're the top four, no problems. You got a legit top line. Like, this kid's 19, protect him. Like, he doesn't have that luxury with this team, so he's going to be exposed to a lot. Even when they're healthy, he was going to be exposed to a lot. So now that they've gone, with a lot of injuries, they've had been without Seth Jones. He's had to elevate his role, and yeah, I think it's there's a lot that you want to see from him, but also it's like he's a 19-year-old kid.
Right.
Like he would have been, with Team Canada if he wasn't here. That's the level that he's at still. So he's still figuring it out. But yes, with Seth Jones coming back, will definitely make a difference with this team's blue line rotation and the way that they play on the power play.
So if when Jones comes back, what's your ideal top six? Like, how would you have your pairs?
I would go back to Vlasic, Jones. I'd have Korchinski with Murphy. I mean, it's not going to happen, but I'd have Phillips playing here over Tenorti, and then I keep Zaitsev in. But that's not what's going to happen.
It's only been a handful of games, but Jacob Megna's looked really freaking good. He has been a positive since being acquired.
Yeah,
he's been good.
But do they sit Zaitsev for him? Because Zaitsev has actually been okay.
I rotate. Like, I don't take Zaitsev out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Like, my six would be, I like the Vlasic Jones. That's been a solid pair. Korchinski, Murphy been
okay.
And Murphy,
They got to get Tenorti and Murphy separated. I'm sorry. It's just
Murphy's been, when he's not playing with Tenorti, he's been getting better.
That's when he had his worst games.
And then my third pairing is, at this point, it's Megna Zaitsev. I don't even play Tenorti.
Megna plays on the right, doesn't he?
You figured out anything
Sure.
that have Tenorti.
Sure, no, I agree.
I'm sure one of those guys could play on their offside.
Yeah.
Zaitsev or Megna playing on their offside is better than Tenorti in the lineup.
You might see a rotation of Zaitsev, Megna. I know he's not been playing well, and I know everyone in the chat and most people online all want him sent to Rockford and bring up Phillips or bring up Kaiser or bring up Del Mastro or Allen. It's not going to happen. Jared Tenorti's playing on this team. It sucks. I agree. It sucks, but that is going to be the plan. Richardson sees a lot of himself in Tenorti. He believes in him as a veteran, believes in him playing and being around this NHL team. So you just got to live with it. And you know what? If this season mattered, he wouldn't be here. But it doesn't matter.
By the way, Megna is a left-handed shot. Zaitsev is right, so that could be
Oh,
a
okay.
pair.
So he's just been playing on the right.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, then, there you go. Megna Zaitsev. I'm fine.
And I'm not saying that I know Tenorti's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I know he's not going to be placed on waivers or shot into the center of the sun,
Right.
as some have suggested. But let's not play him every game.
Sure, rotate him.
Those bottom three guys, Megna, Zaitsev, Tenorti, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Rotate those guys in and out.
That's fine.
And who's ever playing best gets the ice time. But your top four then gets solidified with Jones and Vlasic, which was a really good pair. And Murphy is better with Korchinski.
Yeah, let them play to their strengths. Let Korchinski, try and facilitate offense. Let Murphy be the safety valve defensively. That's fine. Let them do that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, have mentioned, let's bring up Del Mastro. No, he's an all-star in the AHL. Let him be in the all. Think of how good Alex Vlasic has looked this year, and what did the Blackhawks do with him last year?
Played almost the entire season in Rockford.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. There's no need to bring any other kids that matter up right now. And the only reason that Korchinski's here is because there's no option for him to go to Rockford.
Right. And he's good enough to play in the NHL. He's
I don't know
but
what
he's not good enough to be mistake free at 19 years old.
Going back to Seattle would do him no good. It would be our favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
baseballs.
no, it,
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I think next year, if the season starts and Korchinski is struggling, then Rockford is an option. He can go down there for a couple of weeks.
yes, he could.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not like, overall Korchinski, when you factor in, teenager in the NHL, learning all this stuff at the NHL level on a depleted roster, I don't have, I'm impressed with what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
But there are things where you're just like, oh, you're not learning this yet. And I know these things take a lot of time, but sometimes the frustration just boils over where it's like, move your feet when you're out in the power play. You don't have to slingshot it every time up the ice.
Yeah.
Certain things like that. I can live with the defensive lapses and bad reads because that's
Right.
going to happen for a kid like that.
Yep.
But when it's the offensive side of the puck, the reason you were drafted 7th overall, those are the things I want to see get adapted or evolve quicker than the defensive side. Because I think he's naturally gifted offensively. He's got the instincts. So I think that side of his game should probably develop and evolve quicker than defensive. So it's just like, it just seems like little things where I'm like, oh, come on, kid, you're better than that. That's why I get up frustrated, because I know he's better than some of the things we've seen.
And we'll see. I'm like 99% sure we'll see Nolan Allen and Ethan Del Mastro in Chicago before the end of the season. It'll be later in the year.
Yeah,
but they'll get there. They'll get a few games before the end of the year.
Kay's asking a chance, but why does Phillips and Kaiser get a chance but not Del Mastro? Because they actually think Del Mastro is the better prospect and they want to develop him more.
Give him 20
Just
minutes.
like Vlasic last season. They didn't call up Vlasic because they felt it was more important for Vlasic to be the guy in Rockford than play 11 minutes in Chicago.
Yeah.
So that's why Del Mastro, and it's still his first pro season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
Kaiser and Phillips have played in the NHL before.
They're older than him.
Before
Yeah,
this
I mean,
season.
yeah, so that's a reason too. They're further along in their careers, but it's also the fact that sometimes when you don't get called up, it's because they think highly of you and they don't
Correct.
want you to come up here and
Yeah.
whatever reason. It's more important for Del Mastro to be the number 1 defenseman in Rockford all season than come up here and play 14 shifts and then sit a game and then play 13 shifts and then sit a game.
Calling guys up from the AHL is not always
Best
where
guy
we're
available.
yanking your best player.
No.
Yeah.
It's who makes the most sense at the time. And you don't want to, take him out of his groove down there.
Well,
He's
I mean,
in his
look-
routine and it's obviously working.
I mean, look, you had Crevier up here out of necessity. And I think they would tell you that the way they're handling Isaac Phillips probably isn't ideal. I think we're all on record. We'd prefer Phillips into Tonori, but Luke sees things that we don't. Kevin Dean sees things that we don't. Fine, I understand that. But as soon as Seth is healthy, they got to send Phillips back. He's got to be
he'll
playing.
be the-
hockey.
That's who's going
There's
back.
no doubt.
Yeah, no, I know. I just and he has to start getting back in that Rockford routine
yeah.
because there's a reason he was not the guy to make the team out of camp because I think they may have had the same mindset with Phillips was let's get this guy in every situation and really develop him because this is kind of his this year is kind of his last chance before he's kind of going to get leapfrogged by
Yeah.
Del Mastro and Allen and
It's a contract year. He's 22. Like he's still a young guy. But yeah, I mean it's an opportunity to he'll get back to Rockford. Opportunity to get back on the top pair, and produce.
before we take a break, do we want to hear from Connor Murphy?
Yes, I've seen some of his quotes online.
Not
so
every day
let's-
Connor Murphy scores a goal, so let's give him his let's give him his spotlight.
It's bad, yeah. It's unacceptable on our part to give up goals and grade A chances in the last 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and it's just terrible on our part. Our players. Raz made big saves too. And we even had a chance when we were giving up big ones, and then we kept giving up big ones, and we paid for it.
We know where Winnipeg is in the standings. I was talking to your coach this morning about, how well you guys have played against Winnipeg this year. Did you feel you did what you needed to do for the majority of the game?
Leading up to that end of the third, I think we did play hard and stayed with consistent. But it's hard to win games and against good teams too. They're gonna any team's going to pour it on you at the end if you're trying to defend a lead, and you got to know how to play. And we clearly didn't show that we know how to play with it.
What do you see in Winnipeg's game? How do you describe their style?
They're consistent. They don't cheat the game. I think they a lot of their play comes from their defensive game, and they just stick with it, and they play hard and try to get pucks and bodies around nets, as simple as that sounds, and win battles. And they know if they stick with their game, things are going to come, and we ended up breaking exactly how they wanted.
That is Connor Murphy, your 4th star of the game, as voted by the chat. Connor Murphy is the winner. Congratulations to Connor Murphy. Finished the game again, recapping his numbers. He had 1 goal on 1 shot in 19:59 of ice time, 3 shot attempts, 4 block shots, and 2 hits. Congrats to Connor Murphy. And NHL players do not care about moral victories. They don't care that they played well. They don't care that it was a mismatch. They don't care that they're shorthanded.
They want to win.
He was clearly irritated at the way that game got away from him, and that's good.
Man,
you want to see that.
Think about Murphy's career, man. Like, he was a first-round pick, spent a long time with some bad Arizona Coyotes teams. Then he comes to Chicago, and he's been on some bad Chicago teams.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. Like, Chicago, he came to Chicago in the Hjalmarsson trade.
Yep.
So right at the end of that, Cup run dynasty era, right when the cutoff happened, here comes Connor Murphy, and he has done nothing but be a consummate professional, a great veteran guy, a guy you can rely on pretty much 99% of the time. And he's just seen a lot of losing in his career, and it's just...
And he's still there
it
every
sucks.
game, every practice, ready to talk, ready to say what needs to be said. He, I believe, is one of the most underappreciated Blackhawks
of
in
the
a
last,
long time.
of the last like 5-6 years, definitely.
Yeah, it's tough, and I think that he's been kind of unfairly criticized as like not as good as he is because of the teams he's been on.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a
if
very
Connor
effective
Murphy
player.
was here for the Cup years, he'd be a hero in this town. He'd be Nicholas Jarmelson.
Yeah.
He'd be in that ilk.
Had a nice quote here come in from Winnipeg Jets head coach Rick Bowness. On this is from Murat Ats, A-T-E-S. I believe you were right, Greg. He covers the Winnipeg Jets for the Athletic. Rick Bowness on Chicago's quality. Says, Chicago played a great game. Don't look at their roster and don't look at their standings and say it's a bad team. It's a good team. They play hard. They made it very hard for us tonight, and they did get us frustrated. So, I mean, eye test, you watch the game, that was pretty clear that they were able to do a lot of things tonight that made the Jets ineffective for long stretches of the game.
Yeah, that's high praise coming from a guy that might win the Jack Adams this year.
Yeah.
It's high praise.
You know what else gets high praise? ComEd.
It really does.
They get so much high praise.
We know tomorrow is going to be a lights on, heat on day.
I hope so too, because it is getting better with ComEd and easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. And that is something that we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
You betcha. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks just sitting there waiting to get in the snow tomorrow, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make the most sense.
So, what should all of our beautiful listeners who are business owners do, Greg?
Well, if you're a business owner, Mario, like our pal Charlie, the bacon guy.
It's true.
Or, I don't know, Alan K., do you own a business? Well, if you do, go to comed.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Well, you can to the end of the show. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to comed.com/clean.
Wait. I blacked out. What was that website again?
That would be ComEd.com/clean. I know you're used to
clean.
going to dirty websites,
Dirty.
but try to go to a clean website
Xtina.
every once in a while. No Remington Steel on this website. Yes. Go now after the show and see how Going Electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
That's called a callback.
Yes.
And
Those
yeah,
of
that's
you
why
who have
you gotta watch
missed the pregame, you don't get
If
that
you
joke.
miss our pregames,
You
boy
miss a
howdy,
lot of-
you're missing some fun
you
times.
miss a lot of silliness.
Yes. Not that we didn't have our moments in the post game either. But anyway, before we pay off our segments, we want to tell you that there's awesome bobbleheads available from our friends at FOCO of the Connor Bedard variety and others. And it's not just bobbleheads. At FOCO, you can get fitted out in the best sports gear around.
Birch.
Hoodies, spurts, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. It is baseball season,
Somewhere.
as we know.
Somewhere it is.
Aloha shirts, because the weather is really toasty right now. Straw hats, got to keep the sun out of your face. Polos, if you want to look like you have man boobs. Bags, everything you need for a toasty baseball game at Wrigley or Guaranteed Rate Field. And, of course, we did mention our wonderful set decorations from our friends at FOCO.
The Taze Kane one here is a FOCO,
It sure
special.
is. Yeah, that shows you it's like a different quality than your typical bobblehead. But I can't wait for our Connor Bedard Stan Mikita bobblehead to arrive. Should be any day now. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in our description below. And for all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO10 for 10% off.
Luke in the chat says he got the Michigan bobblehead. So
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to the interactive Jordan Billington fillable diaper. That is going to be a very underrated part of that bobblehead.
Yes.
I wonder what the technology is to fill a diaper over and over again, you know. Is it like an air control? We'll have to ask the people at FOCO. We'll have to get Steve FOCO on the show one of these days.
Stephen FOCO.
He's
Frank FOCO.
Yeah, Frank FOCO. There you go. All right, we did do our 4 stars, so all we have left is, we got some super chats. Windy City Hockey says Stan Bonehead was terrible with the cap.
Yep.
That's correct. And Tanvers 12 just sent us $10 because he's nice.
All right.
Thanks, appreciate
Or
it.
they're nice. I don't know if Tanvers is a man or a woman or whatever.
It must have
Chat
been
bot.
penance for joking about Derek King.
Yes, it's okay. We knew you were joking, but it is a
unfortunately-
common theme of the post.
Unfortunately, there are people who say things like that who aren't joking.
Yes. All right, now we're gonna pay off as I adjust myself, so to speak.
Hey now.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm getting my helmet.
Did we forget to bring? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
Oh,
I was
it's-
looking
yeah.
for it during the reads. I was like, did we forget the helmet? Your helmet.
Yeah, there you go. Colin Blackwell.
Colin Blackwell, the biggest
Biggest blue
Big
line.
blue lines.
biggest blue line.
Yeah, Remington really dropped the ball for me, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick Taylor Radish ever again.
Yeah, that was that felt like I don't want to wear the helmet kind of a pick.
I don't know.
Blackwell had a good game.
Yeah.
Like, if he had, 3 short-handed opportunities? Like,
Sick breakaway too.
yeah. Which was
End
on a
of the
penalty
day,
kill.
Blackwell 1353, 4 shots, 6 shot attempts, 2 takeaways, and 50-50 on the faceoffs.
Yeah.
So
Getting in Josh Morrissey's
Yeah,
face.
he earned it.
Look, I picked him and said, I'm going with the safe pick. I'm not overthinking it. Who would have thought that Colin Blackwell would be the safe pick?
We laughed because there was when he speaking of staring down Josh Morrissey, you were like, "Oh, come on, fight him, take Morrissey off the ice." I'm like, "You can't go 5 minutes without Colin Blackwell.
can't.
No, you can't.
That's not a good trade anymore."
You can't.
I was like, "Quick, Mackenzie Entwistle, jump in there. That's
in
the
there,
trade I'd
Macker.
take." But yeah,
Wissy.
I mean, come on. Yeah, Colin Blackwell. I'm not going to pick Taylor Radish ever again this season. That's my vow from her. But it's like at this point, you look at
Banned.
the roster and go, well,
Pick it out of a hat.
somebody,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Spin the
Pick it out of
wheel.
a Crown Royal bag.
Pretty much.
That's it.
It's all kind of even at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
Doesn't
I
matter.
mean, like we were saying in the pregame, like they have 4 fourth lines of forwards, you know?
Yep.
And the defensemen don't really produce a lot. I know Murphy had the goal tonight, but that's career goal number 10 for him? Like, it's not
Only 2 on the year.
yeah, it's not a common occurrence. So spin the wheel, pick a name. It's kind of like, spinning the globe and just stopping your finger on it and be like, oh, going to Pudwakistan.
Going
That's
to
fun.
Doucheton Abbey.
That's where my next vacation is going to be.
It sounds a lot of fun, but I have been to St. Louis before. It's kind of boring. All right, we are done today. We are back Saturday for Hawks and Stars post-game.
Revenge.
The revenge game after the 8-1 ass whooping.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it will be better.
I think so.
I mean, it can't be worse than 8. I mean, it could be, but I hope not.
It could be 8-0.
I mean,
Someone just hog tie Rupe Hintz before the game, please.
Do we think it's possible Seth Jones plays?
If they practice tomorrow, yes.
I highly doubt they're going to practice.
Yeah, but
tomorrow.
I think practice is in the air tomorrow. I would imagine.
I would doubt. Well, how are you going to practice hockey in the air?
I think he comes back Tuesday.
Tuesday
Okay. Against the Shorks.
Yeah, let's ease him in.
Yeah. But
Even
yeah,
though the
can we
Hawks played
get
big as
Well, yeah, because Richardson said he wanted him to get a practice, and he actually hasn't had a practice. He's just
because he skated before practice the other day. He didn't actually participate.
and he was in the morning skate, but not really the other day.
He's got to be able to. They got to give him some contact.
I'm going to date myself with this reference in regards to Rupe Hintz, but maybe we should give Jeff Galooly a pregame tour of the locker room area.
Galooly.
All right.
So anyways,
Steven has no idea what we're talking about.
No, you're 100%
That's
correct.
we'll whiteboard it for the people
Tanya
under 50.
Harding. You watched that movie that came out
Nancy
a couple
Kerrigan,
years. Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan.
1994 Olympics.
None of this rings a bell
No,
to you?
this is no.
If I say Nancy Kerrigan, that means nothing to you.
I mean, I've heard that name.
Tanya
before.
Harding?
I've heard that name before
But
too.
do you have no point of reference from it?
No.
Interesting.
All right.
Should we give the short version?
Nah.
All right.
Save it for.
Google it.
Sounds like a good
demonstration.
Sounds like a good August topic.
Here, Steven. give us your
Remembering Jeff Galooly on August 13th.
Teaching Steven about the 90s, volume 12. All right. We'll talk to everybody Saturday. Be safe in the snow. I know my kid's got a remote learning day.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.
That sucks, by the way.
Remote learning?
As much as the
Get a
boomers
snow
like to
day.
shake their fist at the current generation of children who have to have
snow
active
days.
shooter drills all the time, and they've got it easy, they don't get snow days anymore. Everything's e-learning.
I only had one my entire school career anyway.
You were CPS.
Yeah, and it was only because it was negative 14. It wasn't even a snow day. It was you're gonna die if you leave the house. It's so cold.
I'd say we were
there.
good for like one a year.
Yeah,
I had a few as a
weak
kid.
ass suburb kids.
Hey, it's
Had a
true.
few as a
Cake
kid.
eaters.
That's fine. Cake's delicious. So are off days. All right, we'll talk to everybody Saturday. Be safe. Keep warm. All that good stuff. We'll talk to you Saturday on the CHGO.
Hey, who are we presented by, Jay?
I was going to do that. I got it all queued up right here.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show, which is powered by ComEd.
There you go.
It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at
ComEd.com/clean.
Thank you for paying attention. We'll talk to y'all Saturday night
ribs.
after Hawks and Stores on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.